Alright, hello, good evening everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today we got a few things planned, but the first of which is to try to finish Avowed, which I believe we've got 30 minutes to an hour remaining according to what I've been told by other people. So, last time, just a quick recap, we finally found our god who was trapped under the land. We had a lot of choices of what to do with them, and I basically said, reincarnate them, which kills them, and they were screaming, and now they're gone, and they're reborn somewhere else. However, it never told me how I have the power to do that. Biggest plot hole in the game, in my opinion, I have no idea how I had the power to kill the god. So I'm not really sure how I had the ability to make that decision. In any case, though, we're back here now.
Did you help us?
Let's see.
We must have seen you in a dream.
What's this about? Let me talk to this guy.
We held them off in Fjord. We can hold them off here, too.
Alright, so we've got, like, every character we've met now is kind of gathered in one spot. Apparently, where we were, time was moving more slowly.
Who knows?
Or more quickly. I don't know, but we left and, like, 3 weeks have passed.
We don't need more heroes. We need everyone to come back alive.
I'll give you that.
Hi, Eternal.
Just be ready.
Noises. I like how they're trying to heal these people and I'm just looting them. Let's see. There's a camp here. Possibly the last one. Speak with the leaders of the living lands. Here's our teammates.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Mukluk?
Muck leaves a cartographer in jail
The
because they
origin
robbed
of the
graves.
dream scourge?
Well, the
it
people,
was the act of a
it was
god
illegal.
this whole time?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Alright, so the cartographer was in jail, and the people that said he committed a crime were right next to him. No one is bothered by me looting people in town. Thus, what I'm doing is not illegal. There you go. That's why it's not a problem. Let's see. I discharged my duty to the Emperor. I ended the Dream Scourge.
Finally, a ray of sunlight shines through the storm cloud.
I will not grovel at the envoy's feet for solving a plague I am not convinced was real.
If you wardens ever bothered to pull your heads out of your asses, you wouldn't take such pride in your ignorance.
You know nothing of me or my people, you fucking pirate!
Warden Commander, look around you. Is this really the time?
We believe the Dream Scourge was a malady of the soul. How did you put an end to it, Envoy?
I met the god of the living lands and destroyed them.
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dream Thrall still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you destroyed them?
Wodica imprisoned Sapadal in the garden. I ended their power over the living lands.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Mukluk was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
We saw similar destruction at Nakuku Bell. If these roots and the Dream Scourge are the work of a god, and the gods saw fit to cage them, sounds like the Envoy did the Living Lands a favor in destroying them.
Sapadal hated and feared us as much as they feared Wodika.
I can't imagine how one goes about destroying a god. But I suspect
neither.
you've done
That
us
was
all
never
a good
covered.
turn.
Zapadal was something new in the history of Eora, and you destroyed them. I cannot begin to fathom the loss.
Sapadal was Nandru's patron god. With them gone, what does that mean for the Wardens, for legacy?
The devastation of Shatterscarp was the fault of this infant god. Can't say I'll miss him.
Well, whomever takes this island in the end will live in freedom from fear of a resurgent plague. Thanks to you.
You're welcome.
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwine has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
Wait, Inquisitor Ludwine? Wait, what? I distinctly remember killing Ludwine on top of Mount Fiora.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwine's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right.
So the
let's
final
keep the
boss is
similes to
Ludwine
ourselves.
version 2.0? Damn, I really thought I'd killed her for good.
Oh, cheer up. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Might not be the last either, depending on how things go. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow.
Destroy her faith.
I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, this should be good.
Oh, good. That'll be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible.
Crowbar says, hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? I'm good. What level are you on so far? The finale. We're basically at the end game. Alright, what did you know about this attack, Ambassador?
Well, you might not believe me,
Keep the group
but
alive.
I didn't
I'll be right
want
back.
any
I'm gonna
of
stand
this
in
to
the fire
happen.
just so you don't get bored.
It was Ludwine who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city shortly after you beat her to the garden.
What does Ludwine hope to achieve here?
The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement.
Fat fucking chance of that.
Somewhere inside that hollow head of hers, I believe she always hoped she'd turn you to her side. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodika, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
What's the status of the opposition?
We brought as many Hail and Able from Thirdborn as would come. But after the Dream Scourge and our losses from Nakukubel, we could spare so few. I worry it won't be enough.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garrote for the sake of Paradise, not when we are so few.
Why did Ludwine decide to attack Paradise now?
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Giada, shut up.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwine in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Giada, stop. Lay off him, Giada. We can assign blame when the dust settles.
Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradise cries out for help?
Because he didn't actually
Enough.
do anything wrong.
I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now.
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God.
That's Ludwine's vision for the living lands.
Did the Steel Garrotes explore any alternatives before deciding to attack?
What passes between Ludwine and her men, or between Ludwine and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
Is this what the Emperor wants?
The Inquisitor answers only to Wodica. Attacking Paradis just dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires.
Enough of this. What happens next?
I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwine has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwine, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here.
I'm not familiar with the Grefrum. How does that work?
The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Adir's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Grave Room's aid.
Who would be our Gref?
Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision. But I suspect he would choose you. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwine. But you were born to rule here. Quite literally.
But Sapadal's dead, along with any claim over the living lands I have.
Come now. You didn't get this far on heritage alone.
I assume the assembled leaders have thoughts.
We give up our fighters and the wealth of our lands, and get promises in return. But we have wealth enough to give some away, if it means my wardens may return to their vigil in peace.
A grave room could work, so long as trade keeps moving through the Scarp and you're willing to serve as our go-between envoy. And we'll have cannons enough to deter the adherents from trying anything stupid.
And we've got guns.
With the Dream Scourge ended, my people can soon return to Fior. If a renewed animancy could easily feed the island, I suppose we could send Adir what's left. But when lean times come, who will we feed first? Ourselves or the Empire?
Turn to your companions. What do you think?
Tribute, he says. Taxes. Soldiers. The Empire has tried it all before. Look to the Eastern Reach if you don't believe me. They want to bleed us dry, to fill their coffers and fight their wars, to break us like wild animals. But I will not bend.
It's still a gamble, but I think it's the safest bet. We'd get the benefits of Imperial trade and protection without losing all of what makes this place special. There's no way of knowing what it would mean in another generation or two. But right now, it gives us the security and stability to recover.
We were fine before Adir showed up, and we'll be fine when they're gone. Trust the lands and her people, Envoy.
If we give Adir power over us, we can't be surprised if they decide to flex it later.
Tell me about other possibilities.
Of course.
What would becoming a colony entail?
The Living Lands would become an extension of the Adiran Empire in leadership and law. Soldiers bearing the flag of Adir would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Adiran shelling and speak only the Adiran language. Their roads would be smooth Adiran roads. Their medicine would be hygienic Adiran medicine. And their weapons would be efficient Adiran weapons.
Take a shot every
Our
time he says
customs
Adiran,
would
chat.
become their customs. Our strengths would become their strengths. Our emperor would become their emperor. Turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rawatai, not the Valian republics, not even a rogue god, would dare attack the Living Lands. This island would be safe for the first time in its history, and safe it would remain.
Leaders?
The traditions of Solus are what give my wardens their strength. Without them, we would buckle under the weight of the tusks. I would sooner walk my people into the acid sea than trust an
I mean,
Adiran
you've
to
already
hold
killed
me
a ton of
up.
your people, Mihaly. You're
What
terrible.
need does Thirdborn have for the protections of Adiran soldiers? We have cannons, cliffs, and wills forged in the storms of Rawatai. And should Rawatai come for us, we will rain hellfire down on their heads. Your Adirans could do no better.
Under Adiran
Fair.
rule, your countrymen would strip my people of everything that makes them unique, all in the name of spiritual hygiene. I cannot betray them like that.
Alright, so this is already... Alright, I don't like the colony thing. I'm already no to the colony. Alright, other possibilities.
Of course.
What about a united Living Lands?
Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Leaders, do you have thoughts?
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you. I like the idea of twisting beneath Adir's boot heel, even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil, I'm open to uniting.
She is the
if you
worst
are.
leader here. I don't
It's a nice
value her
idea,
input much.
but consider the costs. If we walk away from a relationship with Adir, we're leaving a lot of trade on the table. But the people of Thirdborn have friends in the world. I'm sure we'd find our way through.
With the Envoy's support, we'd have a god's power in our pocket. What could the Empire do to stop us? When my people return to Fjord, we could create such miracles of animancy, the Living Lands would become the breadbasket of the world.
I've heard enough.
Well, let's not twiddle our thumbs while Paradise burns.
Alright. Honestly, every single one of these options has negatives. So I'm gonna go with the one that appears to have the most positives and the least amount of negatives, which is Grefram. There is a thing that concerns me, which is what Yatsley said, that, you know, if we submit to Adiran rule, we can't be surprised when they flex it later. However, if we unite the Living Lands against the Emperor, like we were sitting here by the Emperor, we work for him. It would make no sense for my character to turn against the Emperor now and be like, you know, we're gonna make our own state with blackjack and hookers. You know, it makes no sense for us to do that, and then we would get crushed by the Adiran army. And then you are a god. I'm not. I have no idea how much of her power I still have. I still, like, did I just use all of it teleporting us here? I might not have that anymore. Colony seems terrible. And I can't let them vote because, honestly, the Rawatai one is the only one that's intelligent. The other two are complete freaking idiots. So, yeah. This is also stupid. So, I think we should attempt a Grefram.
A fine compromise.
So long as my wardens are left in peace, we will endure a grave rum.
To brisk trade. A docile Shatterscarp and a Grave Rum.
A grave rim, then. if we must. And God's willing, Fjord will feed the world.
I do not trust your empire to show restraint in its
Giada,
control
you weren't
of the
invited to this
living
meeting.
lands. Gods help us.
We can worry about the future when it comes. This at least gives us the backing to survive and rebuild.
Right. Might as well go ahead and start designing those rebel flags sooner rather than
Rebel
later.
flags.
Good. We'll have perhaps a whole week of peace before the yoke starts chafing.
I will do my level best to convince the Emperor to accept a grave room. That leaves the matter of Ludwig and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her.
Again.
Or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
Nod solemnly. Let's do this.
Whatever happens to the living lands, at least I can kill Ludwig.
Again.
I'll take that over nothing.
Again.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Nod.
Show them a fight, Envoy.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza.
Understood.
May all the gods of Eora and the living lands protect you.
Let's take back the city. Whatever happens tomorrow, the Steel Garrote
Let's go.
can
Why is
only
everyone
make it
just like,
worse.
giving me affirmation?
Time to stop the Steel Garrote.
Are all four of my
Lead the
companions
way,
going to say a
Envoy.
thing again? Yeah. Okay. No. All right. Great. Jeez. Okay. So I believe I'm supposed to talk to Giada and see. She's supposed to have a plan for how we are supposed to take. What is it? Destroy Ludwig's faith, because otherwise she comes back to life. Let me see what she says.
Can't sleep? Neither can I.
Yeah, you snore
We're
really
going
loud.
into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradis militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased.
56 months. Why Monster Hunter? I thought you said you didn't like it or weren't interested. Also, while I have you here, we have been trying to get in touch with you about your car's extended warranty. Gabe crashed your car and Blackjack has
No,
been
Gabe's not old enough
outlawed.
to touch the car. Why am I... First of all, thank you for the resub, Bertree. Appreciate you. Why are we trying Monster Hunter? So, what I said about Monster Hunter is in the past I played Monster Hunter Wilds. I was kind of indifferent to it. I did not love it, but I did not hate it either. It was fine. I finished the campaign and then I put it down. So because of that, a lack of passion, I probably wasn't going to spend $70 on Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter World was the one I tried. Monster Hunter Wilds is the new one. So because of that lack of passion, I probably wasn't going to spend $70 to try Wilds out. However, someone then gifted me a copy of Wilds. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have to spend anything. I've got it sitting right here. I should at least try it and see if I like it more than the previous version, you know? So that's it. There's no better time to try it out because right now the hype is at its highest. So once we finish Avowed, gonna give it a shot, and maybe we just play it for one day and see what we think. And if I like it, I continue. If I don't, then I'll know. All right. I have influence in court. My report on the living lands will change minds.
Political influence is dangerous. If you aren't careful, it can turn against you.
Oh, like you're an expert.
When
You have a whole
godlike
town that hates
fights in
you.
battle,
You got banished.
people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last.
You're worried I'll change my mind.
Only a little bit. Just enough to keep me up at night. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him.
I do not think that Giata is a poorly written character. I think she is a well-written character that is of a personality type that I hate. Like, she's a well-written character that I don't like. Like, anytime she starts talking, I'm just, ugh. But it's just like, you know, like, she has drive, she has motivations, she has a personality, but God, I don't like it. Noted. Thanks for the warning.
I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. You have an inquisitive mind. I respect that. If you ever
What
feel
is your plan for
education
Ludwig?
is missing something, I'd be happy to teach you what I know. All you have to do is ask.
We're gonna cross paths with Ludwig again. Are you concerned?
In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing.
Arcane Scholar. Because Sapadal challenged her faith?
Precisely. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are.
How do I use that to my advantage?
By staying alive, of course.
Easy.
You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. Alright, go to sleep.
If I must.
So her whole plan is me run at Ludwig and don't die. We got a big brain Giada here, chat. She got the big plans.
Here we go!
Make work and roll!
Another win. Teach you.
Who's counting?
Wait, it's the big ogre guy.
Let the worst come.
Oh, he's helping us. That's cool. That's the guy that I had the chance to kill him once, but instead I healed him.
Right there. Let's get going.
And roll!
Oh, you guys are gonna love this. Bonk!
Your turn, Giada.
Make work and roll!
You shouldn't be here.
Haven't tried this one yet.
And roll! And roll! Make work and roll! And roll! Make work and roll! Make work and roll! Make work. Make work and roll!
Today's gameplay looks pretty rad. Dude, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
And roll!
We'll get them next time, dear.
That all of them?
Who's next? Anyone?